David Hartley stood at his 42nd floor office window, watching dusk settle over the city. At 57, he'd built Hartley Property Group into one of the city's most successful real estate firms. But 4 years after his wife Grace's death, success felt hollow. He worked late, not because he needed to, but because his empty penthouse felt lonelier than the office. "Mr. Hartley, there's a child at reception," his assistant Margaret announced. "She says she's here about the housekeeping position. Says her mother is sick." "How old?" "About 5 or 6. Quite insistent." David made a decision he couldn't explain. "Send her up." When his office door opened, the most extraordinary visitor walked in. Golden blonde curls, blue-collared shirt, and an adult-sized white apron wrapped around her tiny frame multiple times. She clutched a wrinkled paper with absolute seriousness. "Hello, sir. My name is Chloe Martinez. I'm here about the housekeeping job." David knelt to her eye level, seeing worry etched on a face too young for such burdens. "Your mother is sick." Chloe nodded, her voice trembling. "Mommy has a bad fever. She was supposed to come today but couldn't get out of bed. She was crying because we really need this job." She held up the paper. "I brought her resume. I wore her apron so you'd know I'm serious." Something cracked open in David's chest. "How did you get here?" "I took the bus. Mommy taught me which one. I left her a note so she wouldn't worry." This 6-year-old had navigated the city alone because she'd seen her mother's tears and wanted to fix it. "Tell me about your mother," David said gently. Chloe climbed into the leather chair, feet dangling. "Her name is Maria Martinez. She works at the hospital at night and cleans houses during the day, but one family moved away and now we don't have enough money for rent." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Mommy says we might have to leave our apartment. I heard her begging the landlord for more time." "I don't want to lose our home, Mr. David." David's own eyes dampened. He thought of his son at that age, carefree, protected, never worrying about rent or homelessness. He unfolded the resume carefully. 15 years of experience, solid references, and at the top in careful handwriting. "Single mother to Chloe, age 6. My daughter is my everything." "Your mother wrote that you're her everything," David said, pointing. "She tells me that every day." "She says we're a team." Chloe's voice broke. "But I can't help her. I'm too little." "Oh, sweetheart." David squeezed her small hand. "You're helping right now. You showed up. You were brave. You proved exactly what kind of family your mother raised you in. One with love and courage." "Does Mommy get the job?" David smiled, really smiled for the first time in months. "First, we call your mother. Then, yes, I think we can help each other." When Maria answered, her voice was thick with fever and panic. "Chloe, oh God, where are you?" "Mrs. Martinez, this is David Hartley. Your daughter is safe. She's been the bravest visitor I've ever had." He paused. "I'd like to offer you a position managing housekeeping staff for all our residential properties. It comes with salary, benefits, and an apartment in one of our buildings." Silence. Then sobbing. Finally. "Why? You don't even know me." David looked at Chloe, who watched him with absolute trust. He thought of Grace, who'd always said success meant nothing if you didn't lift others up. "Because your daughter walked into my office wearing your apron and carrying your dreams." She reminded me that the best measure of a person isn't what they've achieved, but who they love and how they love them. That evening, David drove Chloe home. Maria met them at the door, still ill but steady, gathering her daughter into her arms. "Thank you for seeing us." "Thank you," David replied, "for reminding me what's important." Maria became an exceptional manager, eventually director of operations, She implemented programs for single parents, flexible scheduling, child care assistance, scholarships. Chloe became part of David's life, visiting after school, having monthly dinner meetings where he'd ask her opinions on company decisions. 5 years later, at an anniversary dinner, David raised his glass. 5 years ago, a little girl in an oversized apron changed my life. She reminded me that courage comes in all sizes, that love is the most powerful force in the world, and that sometimes the best business decision is simply to see people, really see them. Chloe, now 11, grinned. "You're not that old, Mr. David, and you're not lonely anymore. You've got us." She was right. He had this chosen family, formed from extraordinary courage and the choice to respond with kindness. That night, David looked at a framed photo on his desk. Chloe, in her oversized apron, holding out her mother's wrinkled resume with absolute trust. Beside it hung that same resume. A daily reminder that the most important decisions aren't made in boardrooms. They're made in moments when you choose to see people, to help, to recognize that sometimes the smallest visitors bring the biggest blessings.